Please call in if,
I don't think it's on there.
that's a go. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we take a moment and always remember our armed forces, men, women. And I have quite a list here, it's kind of sad, quite a list of local folks since our last meeting. So some of these folks I know, some of them I don't, but that doesn't matter. I just want to remember them for, they're from Highland Falls. We have Millie Lewis, Gloria Brisman, Tim McCabe, Joseph Lipnicki, William Kirby, Bobby Dixon, and Joe Krill. Thanks. We have our attorney here. I welcome our new council person, Richard Parry's here. I'm not sure if he's here as a councilman or a complaint, but we'll find out. No complaints. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Any public comment on agenda items? Okay, we'll move on. So we have two items for discussion. We have 17 Prospect Street, which is a sidewalk issue. Any discussion tonight on that? Bring it up, we can talk about it another time. So what I'm hearing, by not hearing, is we'll just continue to look at this and we'll eventually discuss it. Is everyone okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Next, we have for discussion a resolution. For discussion under, you have it there before you. There's actually two resolutions. There's a shorter one on the back. The only typo, if I can call it a typo, is the last line where it says Town of Highlands. It should be Village of Highland Falls. So there's two resolutions for discussion if we wish. I have asked the village attorney if she would take a look at this as one piece I want to tell you. We do have Mike Colasico here, who's affiliated with High Point Utility. If you wish to say anything to us tonight, it's not going to be the only time, but you can.
Well, can I talk now, Jim?
Mike, yeah, what I need you to do, because we're having little issues here, if you could come over here and just state your name and then tell us, please.
I'm Mike Colasico, live in Fort Montgomery. I am a volunteer on the HPU, the Hudson Utilities. We're a group of folks really gathered together to try to help improve the lives of those of us who live on this side of the mountain. Fort Montgomery, Highland Falls, and West Point, working together as one community. I've worked for the village before. I was an original member of what was started by General Crispin as the Community Relations Council, working at that time as my job as the Director of Engineering and Housing at West Point. I worked for the village here in the early 2000s. We're full members of the community. 2 kids graduated from high school here. That's basically it. And I'm here to work with the village. I'm going to assume at some point you're going to approve the resolution, which will help us out in our works, not just locally, but also working with outside agencies.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, so, any thoughts besides the one that I threw out? I mean, that's only, you know, we always, before we can pass a resolution, which probably 99.8% of the resolutions are done by you.
Mm-hmm. I haven't actually seen this one.
Yeah.
If the board wants me to look at it and comment, I can do that. It's just that I will need a little time to digest it.
That's fair.
So I'd like to make a motion that we table this particular resolution until the attorney has an opportunity to take a look at it.
I'll second that.
Motion by trustee Raymond, second by trustee Livesey, all in favor?
Aye.
And that, I'm sorry, Gina, that was to table this, High Point utility resolution. Actually, two of them. Okay? All right. A few things from me, snowstorm tonight, and there was a meeting after the last snowstorm, which was kind of like a blizzard all day with the wind and the snow. There were a lot of cars left on Main Street, which hinders snow plowing. A lot of cars, more than usual. So we have to get the cars off the road. We have 2 parking lots downtown. We have across from Sacred Heart, the upper level, that's spaces. If you go further north, up to around where Hannibal is, that we let people park there. So maybe your neighbor has a driveway. I've said this before, I have 2 cars in my household. I look for a third because I won't have to shovel my driveway if I get a third one. No, you know, it's good, you know. So whatever means you have, we have to get the cars off the street. All the equipment worked well. The plows, pickup trucks, except for one piece of equipment, and that was the snow blower. But now that's been fixed. So the equipment's up to par. That was an all-day event. That's that. I've informed the police department about patrolling the village and be aware of any water. This is what I want to talk about water for a moment. So we have some leaks. The intake is up compared to the normal number. We know there's less than half a dozen house breaks, laterals, but we also believe there could be a couple of mains. Now, the guys came out Sunday night and fixed a main break. It was on Laurel Lane and corner of Laurel and Glen. In that frigid cold, it was bitter. So they fixed that one, so that was a leak. What's happening here, and most people realize this, is that that cold weather we had a week and a half ago, this weather today makes it look like, you know, great compared to what it was. And bitter cold. And then when temperatures went up a little bit, these pipes start to move a little bit, and the breaks happen. So I had leak detector come back in and check out every fire hydrant. As of this point, none of those are leaking. The other issue we're having, and why I talked about the police first, was because the brakes are not coming up. It's finding its own path underneath. Eventually it will come up. So what I'm asking is for the police, as they drive around every street, 3 shifts a day, look for water. And then let us know. I'm also asking the residents, you see water out in the street that kind of probably shouldn't be there, call us. Call the dispatcher. Call the water department and let us know. That would help greatly.
Joe, getting back to parking on the street, one resident asked me, what are you gonna do, ticket me? That's an option.
Well, that's what will happen.
If you're asked to leave,
Yeah.
move your car, please move your car. I mean, when the plow was going down, somebody was asked to move, and they didn't move it. So if the option is a ticket or a tow, either way.
Yeah.
In extreme storms, I think we have actually towed cars.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, so just to continue a little bit with water, there was a water main break on December 31st, 2017. It was on Main Street and Villa Parkway. Just down the street here, that was fixed. It was a main break on January the 14th, 2018. That was the one I spoke about at Laurel Lane. As I said, there's a few house breaks, laterals. The leak detector company came in. We think we have a leak on Cook's Lane. We're gonna be looking, it could be the main. And a couple other sections of town, one at Ondiora and Knox Road. So we know this is out there, we just don't know where they all are, but we'll find it.
And just to add on this, this isn't just happening in Highland Falls, okay? This is all over the place. So I've seen about the infrastructure of it's getting old here and all of that. It's happening all over. All municipalities are going through this. This is brutal weather we're gonna have. So-
Thank you, you're right. Okay. I find something else, I always keep another spot down here. Okay, so let's go to new business. You have minutes before you from a special meeting on December the 18th, 2017. You have another special meeting on, well, there was two. Another one on December the 18th. We had our regular meeting on December the 18th. We were busy that day. We had a special meeting on December the 29th, 2017. And we had our regular meeting a couple of weeks ago, January 2, 2018. And you have the minutes before you.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Look, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is the fire department, the officers for 2018. And because tonight was a training night for them and they needed to get down there by 6:30, in this room, just before 6:30, I swore all of them into office. So they're now official officers in the Highland Falls Police Department. Next, on the,
Still want to recognize,
oh, okay, we have to, that's a separate thing, okay. So, according to law, we have to specifically recognize the fire chief, Eric Smith, and the assistant chief, Steve Suarez. So if we, by motion, could recognize those two gentlemen and with the rank of fire chief and assistant chief, that would be something we need to do.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by trustee Ramus, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Livesey, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have Highland Falls Police, a fire department member, Jason, how do you say his last name, Charlie?
I,
Tough. Oh, wait a minute, let me ask Mr. Howard.
Roseanne,
Roseanne, thank you.
it's a Jersey accent, but it adds flavor.
Okay. So he's being recommended by the chief. We've had I had a discussion on this, and I think maybe we should approve it.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by trustee Murphy to approve as a member of the Highland Falls Fire Department, Jason Rushan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have a request for the St. Patrick's Day Parade, which will be held on the 3rd of March. Now, last year, just for reference, we waived the permit for the live entertainment, which is $50. My suggestion is we do it again, but we need to approve this application to have the parade. You see the particulars there, start time, ending time. They're gonna go from My Town Marketplace to Homestead. I think there's an Irish pub up at Homestead, I'm sure they'll find it, but I think that's where it's going.
This is a great thing for the community. I'll make a motion on this.
I would love to second it.
And waive the fee. Waive the fee,
You okay?
Yeah, motion to waive the fee.
absolutely.
Have it, Jan? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carried.
Dan has built this into a really
Um,
great event.
Danny, I apologize. I have my head down. You want to say anything?
There was
Be careful, because we just did it, so,
Yeah.
you know.
With your.
Can you just stand in so
Yeah.
everybody at home can?
The preceding administration of the village had allowed Dan Malarkey for Montgomery Town of Highland St. Patrick's Parade Association. The last year, they had allowed us to, more or less, the Irish Person of the Year for the flag raising. They worked with us for having the flag raising on the day of the parade itself, and that the Irish Person of the Year would also bear two titles, the Grand Marshal, the parade. And so the flag raising would be around 2:08 or 2:10. The parade would be leaving the My Town Market at 2 o'clock, and the snail's pace by the time we arrived there. They stopped. Mrs. Burley got in the car last year, and so with the board's permission this year, once again, we picked the Grand Marshal would be the Irish Person of the Year for the flag raising.
Sounds like a good plan.
Do you know who it is yet?
We're down to two choices at this point. I'm not even supposed to be here tonight, there's supposed to be passing rains. So is that,
Okay.
is that?
But, yeah, well, let's see,
okay?
well, let us know who it is,
Okay,
okay?
all right, and I'll make sure that's within the next week, because
Okay.
I'm getting a little
Thank you.
running out of time. There was a license agreement also sent to us last year that, the first year I didn't get it, but I believe everywhere that they had, that was the corrected one, but they had listed the St. Patrick's Parade Association as, and there was no problem, so I'm just trying to say, if there is one of these, if there is one
Well,
needed.
you would give that to the board and then they would have to look at it.
Is that the insurance certificate?
There's a license agreement,
I don't know what
this is, like I said, the first parade, we didn't get one, this one came just before the parade.
this insurance is being provided by the chamber.
Right,
That's what this is.
right.
But the first one we received listed this, and I brought it to Mom, and she said, don't you even sign that. She said,
Well-
it's gotta be the chamber's
Well,
insurance.
The only thing I would, look, this is your business, you turn this in to the clerk.
I already.
Just don't get them mixed up, because now you have two there, you're saying one person doesn't want to be involved and the other person does. So be careful.
It's just the wording,
Well,
and
what-
just trying to
Okay.
save.
Okay,
So this
We
is,
will be receiving one of these this year to be, like I said, the first year.
let me see this again because
In fact, if you want to.
I remember the art walk license that we did. I don't know what this.
yes, yes.
You can keep this.
Listen, the answer to your question is yes, you will be receiving that from the village clerk. All right, Dan?
If you want to keep the copy, this,
Can I keep
this is,
this?
you can keep that one, but that one has St. Patrick's Parade Association and not the.
Danny, please. Please.
You know what, why don't you just send me what you think I need to see to the clerk, who will
Yeah,
circulate it?
the clerk, I happen to know because I was there, the clerk has already spoken to you. So whatever she said to you, that's what you do. That's all I,
Enough of your time, thank you.
no, all right, and if you wanna come back in and talk to her, she's more than willing to talk to you again.
And in the meanwhile, we've passed this.
All right, and.
Thanks, Dan.
By week's end, or no, give me 7 days, but I will have a Grand Marshal / Irish Person of the Year. Okay?
Thank you.
And thank you all for your time and
Okay.
consideration.
Take
Have
care.
a good night.
You too.
Thanks, Danny, very much. Next on the agenda is authorizing the mayor to sign this road part. We do this every year. This is the same company that comes in and puts the chemicals in the pond to take away the algae. So if I could have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement with HMHE, which is our engineering company. We're doing the specs and the bid process for the wastewater treatment plant for the belt press and the RBC. You have that there before you.
I'll make a motion, we sign this agreement in order to repair the sewer plant with this machinery.
I'll second that.
Do you have that, Gina? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, authorization for the mayor to sign the state and municipal facilities program preliminary application for road park upgrades.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Livesey and trustee Murphy, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next is a resolution introducing local law to amend parking regulations and to set up a public hearing. Be it resolved that the introductory local law titled Amendment to Schedule of Off-Street Parking Space Requirements for Non-Residential Uses be and is hereby introduced by Mayor D'Onofrio before the Board of Trustees of the Village of Highland Falls, the County of Orange, and the State of New York. And be it further resolved that copies of the proposed local law be laid upon the desk of each member of the Board of Trustees. Be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees shall hold a public hearing on the said proposed local law at the Village Hall, 303 Main Street, the Village of Highland Falls, at 7 p.m. on February the 5th, 2018. And be it further resolved that the village clerk shall publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the Village of Highland Falls no later than 5 days.
It should
prior.
be, I'm sorry, Mayor, it should be 10 days.
I thought so. Okay. No more than 10 days prior. If I could, and you know what, okay, I'm sorry, then hopefully I have a motion to do this. Let's take care of this first. Can I have a motion for that?
I'll give a motion.
A motion by trustee Livesey, second by trustee Murphy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, so, there was a word or two in the local law that was prepared by the village attorney tonight that was brought to my attention, and we spoke, and you're just gonna massage that a little bit. It's nothing, it's really nothing, it's a word or two that,
I'm gonna close the loop.
yeah, yeah.
So it starts at the intersection Catherine, West Point Highway, goes up the Thayer Gate, crosses over, comes down the west side of Main Street.
To Catherine.
To Catherine to close the loop, and I'll just insert some words that, that front on the westerly side of Main Street.
All stores that front the west side of Main Street.
Businesses that front, so there's no confusion there.
Thank you.
I drove it tonight, so
Thank you.
that's,
And then as soon as you get that, we'll publish it.
yeah,
Great.
and that's a minor change.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, so on this, I have a few comments and some suggestions. Maybe we should do that during the public hearing.
You should do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to I'm hoping to pass this on February 5th.
Well, I don't
So
think.
you can either, I'll give you two, you can either do it now, or your concerns, you could speak to her, but whatever you, it's what you want to do.
It's not stopping the show, because I think it's a great idea. What I would like to do, though, for the community, and I spoke with Mr. Modeling briefly through some emails, and I appreciated his comment at our last meeting. So I was thinking about it, and I believe what we need to do, and I've got some drafts of a petition, and I would like to have the businesses that this is going to help out on the north end, sign the petition, and I would like to confront the powers that be at West Point about some shared parking in the visitors lot. I think if we can get all the businesses to sign on to this petition, along with the village, if they see fit, being good neighbors, sharing parking, green infrastructure, and, you know, I thought about what they would say also, and I'm sure their biggest concern would be overnight parking. So in that petition, we could state that there will be no overnight parking. But I'd like to get together with you, and I'm sure with the chamber, you know, you can circulate that petition with me and get that done, and see what we can do, throw it against the wall, and I hope it sticks.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we can do that, but I will also, and go ahead and do it. But that's an item that can be taken up with the garrison commander and myself. But
Oh, okay.
But do it, you know, do that.
Well, if we have the petition signed, Mr. Mayor, then you could bring that up to the
Yeah.
garrison commander? Excellent. Thank you.
Next, we have unpaid water bills, and these are unpaid water bills from two cycles, the May 2017 and November 2017. Whereas the Village of Highland Falls has 246 delinquent water accounts in the amount of $57,467.38 remaining unpaid, including late fees for May and November 2017 water billing. Therefore, be resolved that the clerk notify all delinquent water customers that unless payment is made by 4 p.m. on Wednesday, February the 7th, 2018, water service will be terminated. Be it further resolved that if a service is terminated, a reconnect fee of $75 will be charged to restore said service. May I have a motion to adopt this resolution?
Make a motion. to
Motion by
adopt.
trustee-
Absolutely. Elwood.
Howard,
I'll second.
second by trustee Livesey. May I have roll call?
Trustee Alward?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor DiNapoli?
Aye. Thank you.
I told you that weightlifting thing.
It does.
All right, next we have a resignation from the village street superintendent Gary Boyce. And it reads as follows: I resign my position with the village effective January 17, 2018. That was given in on the 12th of January to the village clerk. I did respond back to Gary in a letter, that your letter of resignation dated the 12th, January 12, 2018 has been reviewed and accepted. Thank you for your service to the Village of Highland Falls. Okay, so we need to probably accept this resignation.
Move to accept and thank Mr. Boyce for many years of service.
And I actually have done that in public in a couple places, but yes.
And I'll second that, and I'd like to thank Gary too for many years of service to our community.
Okay, so we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have bills and claims, fiscal year 17-18, $209,750.57. May I have a motion to pay bills?
I make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, did you reschedule the meeting?
Oh, I need new glasses, to be honest with you.
I make a motion.
It doesn't mean my eyes are getting better either. We need to reschedule, geez, all of our meetings are falling on holidays, so we need to reschedule February 19th, which is President's Day, which is a Monday, our meeting, to the following day, night, February 20th. Motion.
I make the motion.
Motion by trustee Ramus, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Livesey, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Albert.
We've had a lot of main breaks, as the mayor said, so we're working on that. Kevin is bringing in the truck and the company to come and check the main and the fire hydrant. I certainly second what Joe said about, if you see the water coming down, please let us know. If you see water coming out of a yard, please let us know. And we went to, who was that, the cellar, Joe? Who was that?
Yeah.
Who was the cellar?
Oh, the cellar?
Yeah, but it was.
Right up here, Kevin was instructed to go around and look at empty homes to see if the breaks were there. And right up here, about three or four buildings up, we found 5 feet in the guy's basement. So that was a break. That's been fixed. I'm sorry, excuse me. So yeah, yeah. We'll get these fixed. Like Merv said, it's a lot of communities. It's any community. Some of our pipes, some go back to 1928. And when they put these pipes in, if there was a boulder, they laid it around top of the boulder. It wasn't practice to take the boulder out and then surround it with what we do now with sand and item, you know, so that when the ground shifts, you have less of a chance. Not bad, huh, Mike?
It's cast iron pipe too, it's cracked.
Yeah.
We also have a new dump truck.
New dump.
That's good, another, so we're getting the equipment coming in.
Mr. Murray?
The other thing I got is I just wanted to, I'm glad to see that we're moving with Roe Park. Again, I'll bring us to the mayor. When you all and your board put that together up there, I mean, that was a wonderful thing for the community. And it's good for us now to keep this thing going.
Gotta upkeep it. Even a new item, you gotta upkeep.
Absolutely, and
Thank
I just want, you know, the community to know that's one of our priorities,
Yeah.
is to keep that upkeep up there.
Yep, thank you. Charlie?
Well, I have the building department report. There were 71 total physical inspections, 21 advisory or violation notices, 12 fire safety inspections, 35 building permit inspections, which was a good sign, 10 certificates of compliance, or CFOs, and 13 permits were issued, which shows that there is good activity going on. I also want to thank the building department personnel. They've started to help us pull together information that will be needed for the census. I do urge everyone in the village to cooperate with the census. It doesn't hurt to repeat it again. Depending on how many people reply to the census, it will make or break our opportunities to get some state funding. Right now, so few people responded, and they were higher income people. The perception, and it's all done by computer, so the computer kicks us out. We are too wealthy a community to qualify for state funds. So when you get that census information in the mail, please fill it out.
Thank you, Charlie. Trustee Ramus?
Yeah, I got a report from the wastewater treatment facility. Last month, they processed around 460,000 gallons a day. The facility has met all of the New York State DEC speedies permit limitations. They continue to do some routine maintenance that they generally do in the winter down there, painting, some cleaning, things like that. I was down there when they brought the crane in. Actually, they brought 2 cranes in to remove the our BC unit, and it was quite a feat with those guys getting in there. But we got in there. It was quite heavy. I didn't stay for that part because I'm scared. No, but I knew there was a good team down there, and so they have lifted that out. They put the cover back on it, and now we're just waiting for the engineer to come up with the specs so we can get that out to bid. One other quick thing, the EPA has a pledge for water out there. I'm going to ask if we can get this onto our website. and maybe some of the residents would like to sign up for this. It's about not only you saving water, you saving money for yourself, for your family, but for future generations. So I thought it was a great thing that the EPA is doing out there. And I'll give this to the clerk and see if we can get this onto the website. That's all I got.
Okay, two more things, quick things. Sometimes, this has been a very good meeting, very positive meeting. This is a little bit of the opposite meeting. You know, sometimes the village board and the police department, and even other departments get criticized. I'm not sure why they're not working, stuff is going on, nothing's happening, we don't care. Well, most people know when I say that isn't true, that isn't true. Sunday night, and John, I want to recognize you, John Jones from the wastewater treatment plant, because right now you're the interim highway superintendent. You know, in the middle of winter, obviously you took over and right away there's problems. Ice, snow. Well, no, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way, John.
I'm going
Great
to
job,
church
Jeff.
Sunday.
And, you know, the water break. So, you know, we get criticized, you get criticized, but I'm gonna tell you something, and Mr. Howard knows this because he came down. Sunday night, down there on the corner of Laurel Lane and Glen Road, at 6 o'clock, it's dark, it's fine, it was bitter. I'm telling you, not cold, it was bitter cold. And like I said, I can get in my car and go home, which I did eventually. But you guys are doing it. You know, and it's wet on top of it. I'm gonna tell you, there was 4 guys. One of them, and this needs to be noted, yes, they get paid. Yep, they get paid. Yep, they get overtime. But you still deserve a thanks and recognition. You and those that came out, whether it was that time or any other time. And one of them had a birthday party to go to, take his daughter out to dinner with his wife, but he didn't go. His wife and daughter went. You know, that's what you want to call it. That's commitment, that's dedication. You know, and it needs to be noted. Along with that is the police department. A lot of criticism. Well, here's a nice headline that I knew. I didn't know what the headline would be, the words, but I knew we were going to get the headline because I knew what was going on. When you think there's nothing going on, believe me, there's something going on. Believe me. If anyone thinks the police department is downstairs, doesn't care about the break-ins that were happening, believe me, working every day on it with the state police, other sources. I must have spoke to the police department every day. And every Tuesday morning, no one knew, we had an official meeting on this. So I knew things were happening. But when they broke into the town hall, Mr. Perry's here, when they broke into the town hall, now they're getting a little, you don't do that. You don't break into any place. But they broke into the wrong place that night. They're all wrong, but that one they got caught. So, and then not long ago, I can't remember, but we had, well, these are the drug arrests. That's the headline about the drug arrests. We're not doing anything about drugs. Believe me, there's been a lot of arrests since this board started. We haven't even been here a year. I don't want to throw out a number because Facebook will light up, but there's been a lot. There's been a lot of arrests. And we're not done. We'll never be done, because that's the nature of what we're dealing with. We'll never be done. But you can rest assured we're doing something about it. And I'm going to end it on a good note. What I would like the community to know, and if you could help me pass this on, I want to do Valentine's for veterans. Whether you know a vet or not. Maybe do something handmade. It doesn't have to be handmade. It can be a card that you bought down at Rite Aid. They'll go to Castle Point and Montrose. We don't need names. Dear veteran, however you want to address it. I'm hoping schools and families and businesses, individuals, we can all show our thanks. So if you have a Valentine card that you want to make, if you, maybe one of your children wants to make, maybe it comes from you, the parents, it doesn't matter who it comes from. But if you could mail it to me, the mayor, at 303 Main Street, I will get them, or you can drop them off. The ladies downstairs will take them. And before Valentine's Day, actually by February the 9th, that's a Friday, the following week is Valentine's Day, I will bring them, I'll have someone help me. One of us will go to Castle Point and one of us will go to Montrose. And we'll deliver these. So, again, Valentine's for veterans, but I need your help.
Do you sign your name on it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, you sign your name on it, sure. Okay? That's it. Now I have, I think I have public comment. Public comment. Yes, sir.
I wasn't here, but the
John, you have to.
John,
HPU, I'm sorry, I'm here.
just, get up here and say your name.
John Dodson. I didn't see, I know Mike was here to cover it, but I thought maybe if there's any questions or anything I could answer on the High Point utility resolution, or something we need to change or whatever. But you and I have discussed it. So I'm here for answering questions. If anybody has got any inquiries, I've been involved quite a bit, so I know most of what's going on.
John, what we did before you came was we gave the two resolutions to the attorney to look at. I mean, we can't pass a resolution until she looks at
She's
it.
going over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions yet?
And then
I
it'll,
just got it.
Oh, you just got it?
I'll
Okay, I'm
review
sorry.
it quickly.
and it'll be on the agenda for discussion at our next meeting,
Okay,
and the board can discuss it
good.
and take it from there.
Okay, well, the HPU has done everything it can for the community pretty much, and we started here with the village, and the resolution is pretty much the same one that the town passed, that we passed here a long time ago, but we, of course, made some changes back and forth. Things are going well with the academy. We've been able to help them a lot. I'm gonna meet with the Assistant Secretary of the Army next week, I hope, to further that large project that we're assisting them with, that hopefully will also help our emergency services that the mayor and I have discussed. So hopefully we'll be here next time. Thank you.
Yeah, please come, because there may be questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Anything else?
I have one, so should I talk as public comment as a private comment, or should
Whatever you want to.
I remember that's report?
I thought they-
I don't know, what that's report, sidewalk.
Oh, go ahead. No.
So I'm basically speaking tonight as a resident of 107 Mountain Avenue. I should be up there, but I'll stay here. And what it is one of our snowstorms that we had, that evening around 7 o'clock, the snowstorm stopped. The sidewalks that are along Mountain Avenue, I know from myself and some other residents, we were out there shoveling. I shoveled mine, got it all clear. I went down to my neighbor's, he got his clear. Further down, I know the Feldmans were doing their sidewalk. Everybody was doing their sidewalk on Mountain Avenue for a few big reasons. One is a lot of the kids walk along that Mountain Avenue. There's bus stops all throughout that on Mountain Avenue. It's a fast road, so you want to make sure, being a property owner, you know that there's a lot of children around there, and the sidewalks have to be accessible. What happened was, that evening, everything was salted, everything was great. And then that evening, the village came along to help out with the sidewalks. They came along with their Bobcat to get whatever else was out there. They cleaned it, okay? So I just want to clarify this. That morning I woke up about 5:30 in the morning, the sidewalks were all filled again, okay? And not only were they filled, they were rock solid, okay? Definitely not walkable at all. That's how bad it was. And I know there was a lot of complaints that, why aren't they cleaning their sidewalks? You can't keep up with the state trucks. And, you know, all due respect to the state, they got a job to do too, and they have to plow Mountain Avenue. But I just want to clarify that that evening, everybody cleaned their sidewalk. And that next morning, that's what happened, and it was rock solid. There was nothing anybody could do about that. So sometimes when we say that person didn't clean the sidewalk or this person didn't, we need to think a little bit more, why isn't it cleaned yet? What happened there? And that happened, so I just wanted to bring that out.
No,
That
that's a
Mountain
good-
Avenue is a tough area.
That's a good point, and I will tell you also, as John knows, there is a list, what you might call it a priority list. We do the hills first, and they do very good with the hills. And then I guess the side streets, main streets and up there at the top. But we will do Mountain Avenue.
You do.
We will, and the reason is,
Yeah.
and it's probably the only reason, although I could add a couple to it, is because the children have to walk to school, and we certainly don't want them in Mountain Avenue, on Mountain Avenue. So we will do, from the bottom up to
Yeah.
the school, and from the, top down to the
Yeah,
school.
and they did. You remember, John, they did have the Bobcat, I guess, was
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
But the only problem was, again, you know, the state's got to plow too, and it threw it all back up. That was so solid that the Bobcat wouldn't even push that. It was pure ice now. So
Just pay attention to that, okay, John?
it is a problem.
Really for the kids.
But it also does, it pushes the kids out into the road now, you know, and that's a problem. So I just wanted to bring
Yeah,
that up.
no, it's a good point. Okay, anything else? Okay, we're gonna go in.
I have a couple things. In the newspaper, no matter what you read, the Wall Street Journal, the Times, or Herald Record, New York State now is $4.4 billion deficit. The DC tax plan for New York might also cause some issues. It's not a political statement, it's an economic statement. The tax cap is coming, just as we know. We have contractual talks with DPW as well as the police department. Health benefits are going up. They do every year. The mayor is going to be talking to the chief. We're going to be meeting again about the budget, see what's going on. And we're going to start looking at any concerns we have with the budget. Gina came up with a great idea. We'll write it up. We'll fax it over to our treasurer, get some information back. But this is going to be a difficult year. We've got all these problems with our infrastructure. And on top of that, we've got a deficit in New York State and tax, whatever that happens with the budget from DC. So I just want people to know we are looking at it and we're concerned about it. Just as every other county is concerned about it in the state of New York, in village and town.
And we'll roll our sleeves up and get into it.
Yeah, you'll have to.
Thank you. That's very, very important, what you said. Okay, if there's nothing else, we're going to go into executive session on advice from counsel and personnel. Two separate things. I thank everyone for coming.
I make a motion that we go into executive session.
Second.
Thanks, guys. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Good.
Yes.